Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Beyond Expectation podcast with your host, none other than my main man, Eddie with a Vengeance. And of course, you got your A to the MI. That's
Glad
my
to be
street
back
name.
again, brother. Glad to be back in, man.
Yeah, man. So, last time we were last episode was part 3 of Roxy, am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out
Yes.
Roxy too again. If you listen to this, thank you for again coming by and just chopping it up with the boys. It was definitely a an experience just because it was one of those things where a simple just DM in regards to just some artwork led to us, coming together and joining forces and creating a, awesome three series episode. So it was definitely an awesome time, and everybody had a good time. So it was
It was.
definitely it was amazing. So shout out again, Roxy. Thank you again for sliding through Washington State and making it happen.
Yeah, dude, that was a lot of fun, man. And Roxy, she's one of those people that that was like the that whole episode that we did there, that I could see the future with that one. Just sitting down and getting to know people um on a whole new level. Like that was on some next level stuff that we were doing on that one, and we got to meet an amazing person, someone that we will stay connected with, and continue to do other ventures with in the future. So that was amazing. It was awesome, Eddie. You did a solid bringing her on. That was all you. You worked it. You greased those skids, and you made the magic come to life, baby.
Yeah, man, it was definitely, like I said, it was an experience, man, just to make sure, like, it's just a part of the game, right? When it comes to podcasting, it was an experience because for people that don't know, or probably first time listeners to the pod, we're literally winging everything we do as we go. There's really no, I mean, there is some planning, like at a caliber episode like that, the one we did with Roxy.
Yeah.
Of course, some time, some planning went through with it to just make sure everything was going to flow smoothly. So it's just a lesson learned, right? It's one of those things where experience definitely brings a lot of knowledge, with anything, right? You have to kind of get your hands dirty and really go with it. You're going to fail, you're going to learn, you're going to succeed. It's just all part of the game. But that alone was just an experience, just to really see how maybe bigger caliber podcasts do things too, right? So, it was definitely an experience, but it was overall good. And, I'm glad everything went swell. And again, yeah, we'll definitely have to have her back on here soon as everything that unfolds with what she's got working on her end. It all goes smoothly and she can come back and just chop it up with us and give us an update on what she's been doing and what she's, having her hands in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what about you, my man? You've been on the prowl yourself, skipping from pad to pad, from dad to dad. What's
Yeah,
going on?
man. No, it's I hate moving. We just moved recently, of course. It's been a hectic, just also because it's before the holidays, right? And also just to bring up the fact that we're through with October, which is crazy. But before we go into just my feature, well, I'll finish my story. Yes, we moved. It was chaotic, but it is what it is, right? And I'm just glad it got done before the holidays. Of course, we're already creeping up into Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And of course, Christmas is just around the corner. It's just crazy to think that we're literally at the mere end of 2023. So here we are,
I
right?
know.
So it's
I
it's
was
insane.
I was just looking at all my gray hairs coming in, like, oh man, I don't think I had that many grays last year. I
Oh
got
man,
them
dude,
now.
mine are coming with a vengeance too, man. I mean, I shaved up a little bit, or I got my beard trimmed up a little bit, but there's still those grays that are just coming with full force. And I swear, every day it's a brand new patch coming in. So I gotta embrace it, man. It's like they
Yeah.
say, it's wisdom coming through. So it's all good for
I
me, man.
Yeah, one guy I really admire that pulls off silver really well is
Silver,
my man Everlast. Uh,
Everlast.
he does, man. He just like he's got it's all white, and but he's got that nice clean haircut, and oh man, I'm like that's my target right there.
Yeah.
Everlast is a good looking man.
Yeah. No, man, it's we gotta own it, you know what I'm saying? We're just getting older, we're getting to that age of just us well, they say like 35 to 40 are like our prime, right? That's what I keep hearing, but hey, it
I don't
is
know
what it
about
is either
that. I
way.
think 20, I mean, think prime, think of like, NBA, NFL players.
True. Yeah, I mean they're young cats, but I'm saying like I guess in a sense of being already, in a good profession, already locked down, having kids, having a family. I
Oh
think in
yeah.
that, in retrospect, in that area, right? Like having
Hmm.
being at your peak. But of course, I mean, everybody has their own definition, right? But yeah, I mean, it comes with the territory, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta embrace it. Some people don't like it, some people do, but I tend to like it, so I'm trying to hide it. It is what it
Yeah.
is, you know?
When my grays started coming in at first, my
Yeah.
wife was telling me all the time, "You got to dye your hair. You got to dye your hair." She was telling me to do that, and I'm like, "Babe, I'm gonna own this, man. You ain't
uh,
taking this from me. I'm gonna,
no.
pull off the salt and pepper until it's just salt."
Yeah.
And I want to be a cranky old man. I want to, like take like little oranges and throw them at people with their bass bumping,
I can see you with like a iced out cane, no, with like a gold tip cane or something like that. But the handle itself is going to be a rhino because that's obviously your spirit animal. So I could definitely see that playing out here in the near future.
I
And we
love
would
giving
be
people the horn.
we'd be hanging out at pubs. We'll just be talking all this shit, right? And then
Hmm.
just laughing at the younger crowd, So laughing at these yahoos, and see what's popping in the future, compared to what it is popping now.
Yeah,
So
I've always pictured myself getting old in an Irish bar, an Irish pub.
pretty pub, right? I mean, Irish. I mean,
Going there for my scotch and my cigar.
yeah. No, man, but it's yeah, dude. I mean, we're just getting older. More of the story, we're getting older. But I mean, aside from that, since we're already through October, how's your Halloween though, brother?
Oh, Halloween was decent, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a holiday that I get overly excited about, but of
Mm,
course the kids do, right?
yeah, for sure.
So,
Candy, of course.
I took the kid out trick or treating,
Mm-hmm.
and then we went to get some candy. On our way back, I got 3 bags of candy, and the idea was to let her hand it out, and then
Mm-hmm.
we didn't even go through a half a bag. We didn't get that many trick or treaters, so
Oh, really?
yeah. So basic stuff, whatever. And it was on a weekday anyway this year, so I think that was part of it. Was
Monday? Was it Monday? It was Monday,
like
right?
Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday?
I
Dude,
don't
I
think
lose
so.
track of time. Anything 2 or 3 days before, I just lose track of it. It's just kind of like in the rear view. You know what I'm
You
saying?
didn't you
So
didn't dress up?
no, I didn't. Well, Death Row, baby.
Yeah,
No, I'm joking. No,
baby.
no, no. I didn't dress up this year,
That's
man. We were
cute.
we were so busy with unpacking and everything, dude. It was just kind of like honestly forgot, to be honest. It's one of those holidays too where me, of course, handing out candy is cool for the kids and all that. But it's just yeah, that's
I
not
have
what
a
it's not what it is anymore. Like I don't know. I was just having this conversation with my barber that he was saying like it's you don't really see that many kids in comparison to before, where you would see just a block of kids just like going in house to house and families all outside, kind of socializing amongst each other, stuff like that. It's not really like that anymore. That's what he was
yeah.
saying in comparison because he's been living in the same spot for a few years now. So he was saying it's kind of died down for the past couple of years since he can remember. And yeah, I mean, I
So
kind of see it
I
too.
I have a question for you though,
Yes,
with
sir.
your Hispanic heritage.
Hmm.
You're first generation American, is that what they call that?
Yes,
Or
yes.
okay.
First generation Mexican American. Yep.
So your parents though, did they ever celebrate Dia de la Muertes? Is that what they call that?
Dia de los Muertos. Yeah. No,
Muertos,
I don't
muertos.
really remember seeing them celebrate from what I can remember growing up. But what they do is that I guess they do it pretty often, but they go visit my dad's mom and dad, my grandpa and grandma. They visit
Abuela
their
and
grave.
abuelo.
Yeah, exactly. And they go leave like little treats that they liked, like when they were still alive, and they do that, right? But they don't
Wow.
do like the what they do now is like they obviously put like pictures of their loved ones who have passed, and then they bring them like the stuff that they liked or they enjoyed when they were still alive, and it's like a little memorabilia like piece, right, where they put all these pictures up of all the past loved ones that have passed and they're no longer here, and they
Mhm.
do that. So us in our family, we don't do it, but I kind of do want to start doing it just because of the it is something I feel like a day to not only grieve but obviously remember, right? Like the
Yeah.
loved ones
Yeah, day to
that we
remember.
exactly right. So
Yeah.
I do feel like I want to do start implementing that, but it's one of those things where, like I said, just Halloween in general, it's just not like,
It's a
it's
lot
just
of
kind of
work
another year.
though. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to put up all those pictures and put
Mm-hmm.
up the candles and
Mm-hmm.
wow. But that
Yeah.
dude, props to you if you end up doing that.
Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, it's definitely a cool tradition. You know, it's definitely an awesome tradition, especially like in Mexico City and just the motherlands overall. There's like a big festivities and stuff. It's amazing. It's awesome. So definitely, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, brother. But of course, man, I wish I could talk about what we have lined up in regards to content. And again, for all the people that we've honestly have grown our social media, what is it, following in on Instagram. And I definitely want to shout out everybody that's followed us. Thank you. And definitely welcome aboard to the podcast train here on the Beyond Suspicion podcast. And yeah, I just can't believe that we've actually gone up in numbers. It's crazy to see how much just networking in general with different people, right? It
Yeah.
brings all these different people coming into the mix, and just hopefully this just keeps growing, month per month, year per year, so on and so forth. But we have some amazing stuff in the works. I think I've already touched on base with you off pod, off the air, that here when this releases, we'll already be recording it. But we got some amazing stuff coming through. Again, I wish I could speak about it, but I actually want to keep people in suspense because it adds more to the mystery on who we're going to have on the podcast,
Yeah.
and it's going to be an awesome time, but overall an awesome conversation because again, without giving too much info, right? Because I guess I like to keep everything low key. This individual definitely has had his hands in, and I would like to say this person is a man of many hats, and it does have to do a little bit within the cannabis industry itself, but also has to do with some music as well. But overall, just entrepreneurial on the entrepreneurial side of things too, as like what Roxy was talking about as well. So I do want to shout out to for making that happen as well. She definitely made the connect, and here we are pushing forward with it. And again, shout out to her. Thank you again for making that happen. But we have some amazing stuff coming through, and also we've now that probably it's not going to happen, but we were planning, me and my boy Brett here, we were actually going to go on our first little UAP UFO. I guess we want to call it like expedition, right? We were going to go ahead and see what we could see out there because we've heard through the grapevine that we've on episode, I don't remember the episode number right off bat, but it's on the second episode that we did with Hector and Eric in regards to Sasquatch, how he was told that there's this area here close by where we both live that is very active when it comes to UAP sightings, UFO sightings, however you want to call it, that there's an area where it's super active and that there's certain time frames where people are starting to see things just appear from what we've heard, right? So we were planning on doing that, but of course, we had to shift some dates around because like I said, it just to make things happen in regards to content, and have this guest on that we're planning on having next Friday when this releases, to make happen. We're gonna make that happen though. That's definitely something that I've been wanting to do, and my boy Brett's been wanting to do, and that's gonna happen. So stay tuned. We'll might have to make that like a little vlog series or something like that, or we might even bust out the mics and record, right on the spot, and we describe what we're seeing, or just describe the night as it goes on. Who knows? We're trying to just do different things, right, when it comes to content. So stay tuned with that. We're definitely gonna roll with that as well as the couple of weeks approach. So definitely keep on the lookout for that. But on that note, brother, since we obviously like to dive into random topics, obviously we've kind of gone off the end of touching touching tips, and these wild topics that have been happening throughout the world, just what we run into, right? And of course, we were just talking about UAP. So the more and more open that this is becoming in regards to just the topic in general, right? The Pentagon talking about how they've uncovered some things, according to them, that they have an online reporting tool that had just launched. So this has to do with that and the sightings that are occurring, but they're diving more into just getting people's, I guess, their occurrences that they witnessed, right? So here's a little interesting article on this. The Pentagon has launched an online reporting tool for certain encounters with unidentified anomalous phenomena, formerly known as UFOs, in an expansion of its effort to be more transparent about its exploration of the unknown. Only current and former federal employees, or those, quote, with direct knowledge of U.S. government programs or activities related to UAP dating back to 1945, are so far eligible to use the secure form, which went live on Thursday on the website of Defense Department, somewhat blandly named All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARROW. An option for the public to submit reports is coming soon, official says. The move signifies that the government is slowly moving closer to fulfilling its promise of complete openness about what it knows or doesn't about everything from strange flashes in the sky to the possibility of alien life and sightings of unusual flying craft. The launch of the tool follows the appointment last month of former Pentagon liaison Mark McNerney as NASA's first director of UAP research and the space agency's promise to harness a worldwide army of citizen skywatchers to improve its observations and an analysis of the unfamiliar.
Huh. I almost want to call bull on that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, for years they keep hinting that they're going to do things that, disclosure, disclosure, disclosure.
Yeah.
We've seen
Yep.
Congress, they've spoken to Congress, people, whistleblowers, people have spoken to Congress, and at the end of the day, it's just moving the carrot, it's just
Yeah.
holding the carrot out and moving it, moving it, moving it. So, I hear that news, but until we see some real official stuff, I mean, I almost just don't even want to jump at the carrot anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we really need to see all this stuff that David Grush was talking about to
Mm-hmm.
really like know like all the stuff that he was saying, right? Because at that open hearing when he talked about just how there was aircraft retrieved, there was these supposed bodies retrieved, that there was these incidences where the US itself got involved with, some encounters with these unidentified aerial phenomenon, right? Until we see all that, I'm the same boat as you. Then we'll really be stirring the pot with that stuff, right? But who knows when that'll come out? But they're saying they're trying to be as open as they can be with all the stuff, but who really knows, man? I mean, the
Yeah.
more and more I'm hearing about this, I don't know if we talked about this on the past previous episode, but the body that they supposedly found in Mexico, the
Yeah.
one that they're really looking into. But I don't know, man. I'm even sketchy about that just because the gentleman that was hosting that whole event or that whole hearing, Jaime Maussan, I think that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's already been caught before faking some of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it really ruins the credibility of that. Where some of this stuff may be not. It's not really what it seems to be, right? I guess let's just put it that way. So, but we'll see, man. I mean, with all this stuff really happening, it's still a hot topic. We're still hearing a little rumblings here and there about UAPs, UFOs, and all this stuff. But I mean, who knows?
I don't get me wrong. I think that there's some weird stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think the government's just closed. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to work on a narrative. They know the truth. They absolutely know the truth. There are so many people that have come forward, and I think people are at the stage now where back in the 40s when all this stuff was happening, the military was real effective about letting people know if you say anything, your whole family's going to die, and we're over those days, right? Nobody cares anymore. Now it's just like, okay, what are you going to do? Kill my whole family because I saw some freaking UFO, and so now people are talking about it with social media. What are you going to do when the video's already posted and everybody's seeing it? And so it's just a real failure on the government's part, and I don't know why they're trying to hide, but I just I want someone to get in office, and I think that if we could do away with the CIA and the FBI, that would be a big part of it. If we could just dismantle those organizations altogether, less war. How amazing would that be?
I know, man.
But more, more truth, more transparency.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be awesome to be able to trust your government?
Yeah, right, man. That it'd be amazing if that happened for real, right? I agree with you on that. And also, just in regards to just all this stuff coming out, right? I was sending you a couple articles in regards of the incidences that are happening in Peru, how they're seeing all these things flying, like or all these people getting attacked supposedly. I'm like, dude, that's pretty wild, man. I don't know about that one is you have to take into account for these people that are seeing these things and they're describing, like there was this one video I saw of homegirl was just in complete shock that she saw something just crazy, and that it just seemed to me like the way this is kind of adding up is like they're seeing people with jetpacks on, because we've seen it that they're already working on this type of stuff. So to them, it might look like it's something from outer space or whatever, right? I can see the confusion happening there. But overall, man, I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening just all over different parts of the world, right? With this stuff, in regards to UAPs. But time will tell, man. Like I said, until we see something crazy where we see a ship coming out. Oh, dude. And also, sorry to change subject. They're releasing of what it looks like a very awesome new documentary about Bob Lazar, how he was like one of the very first whistleblowers and stuff.
Yes.
But dude, oh man, I can't wait to see that one because that one
Is that
that's where I got sucked in myself, you know, because
Netflix or
that's
what?
I don't know if it's on Netflix, but they just like released a trailer about it. Just him how he's
Okay.
working on his car that runs off what
Water.
is it? I think it runs off water. I think yeah.
Or
Yeah,
it's either water or
I think it's
hydrogen.
hydrogen. Hydrogen, yeah.
Hydrogen, yeah.
So he
Okay.
was driving his car, and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be good just because of the stuff, like you know, all this stuff coming out and how they're saying it flies and how they've seen these things fly, and it's like
Yeah.
almost to the T of how to describe it. Like, bro, coincidence or not, I
Well,
don't know, but to me, he seems credible to me though. But yeah,
you know,
more of the story though, yeah. I mean, they're creating a form online for the Pentagon, released from them to for people to submit all their sightings, right? So maybe yours truly will submit a sighting from the Beyond Station podcast, right?
yep. And I think that Funko needs to get on point, get on deck, and get me a Bob Lazar Funko Pop.
Oh, dude, custom like what 100 out of 100 only. That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, yeah. Just make sure I get one of them because
Oh, dude,
anytime they do
yeah.
those, I never get one.
I didn't know for the longest part. I mean, sorry to switch subjects. I didn't know that you can actually get those limited edition ones through the soda pops. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
So apparently, our coworkers that we work with, he was getting into them pretty heavily with him and his son, and he told me that like he got an a limited edition Star Wars one, and it was like I want to say he was like 50 out of 50 only, and he got one of them.
Wow.
So I don't know, his son got one of them, and then he obviously is keeping it in the case and everything. Like, yeah, man, keep those all secured and tight because those things are worth money because those are the ones like people really go for. You know, they're really hardcore collectibles. But he said,
Yeah.
yeah, you get them through the soda pops. I don't know that. I
That's
never knew that.
crazy. No, I didn't know
I
that
never
either.
knew that. Yeah. So there you
Wow.
go for all
All
you
right.
Funko hunters. There you go. any great
Wow.
any stuff within the tech world on your end, my friend? Anything that you've heard that's just mind blowing?
No, I've been keeping my eyes on this Hamas Israel war, and I've been I guess Putin I guess in the local media they were putting out the news that he had died, and so
Oh, really?
they were putting this news out,
Hmm.
just trying to figure out who was liking the post and who was adding smiley emojis. And then once
Oh,
they
dude.
find out everyone, yeah, they're gonna get rounded up and be in a little bit of
Hey,
trouble.
take tit for tat, man. Though, hey, that's a strategic way to do it, right? I'm like, hey,
Man,
that smiley emoji might lead to your death.
you know, that would be a shame if they did that in America, and then
Oh,
they said that
brother.
our current guy, got taken out or whatever, and I'd be like,
Like,
smiley
dislike,
emoji,
whatever,
smiley
you
emoji,
know,
and then all of a sudden it's fake, and then now they're throwing the brown shirts at me, and then now I'm like, unlike.
yeah. Oh, dude. I mean, dude, the power of social media, though, right? I mean,
Well,
social media is one of those weapons, dude, that they could use it to however they want. Let's just be real, right? Like,
yeah,
a lot of those people have it. So it's like, why would they not utilize that to their advantage to where they can weaponize it just like that? I mean,
I
hey,
know, man,
creative, man.
I
I mean,
know.
hey, that's
Some of the best
crazy.
chess players in the world come out of Russia.
Oh, dude, I know, man. That's crazy. And I never really got into chess, man. I could barely handle what is it, checkers. That was like the
Oh,
highest that I got to check. Chess
no,
was a
I
different game
tried
for
to get
me.
both of my kids into chess, and
Yeah.
my youngest, she seems to be into it, but she plays this app on my phone. There's a chess app on my phone, and
Mm.
but the thing is she goes with the guided ones that tell you where the
Oh, like what
thing
moves they
moves.
suggested, dude? Yeah,
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 so
yeah,
she'll do
yeah,
that, but she's only 6, by the way.
yeah.
But still, if I could
No,
get
it's good to
her on a
learn.
real chessboard,
Hmm.
chest to chest, oh man, I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, man. Hey, it all happens like that.
I'm not
Maybe
that
it'll,
good at it, by the way.
yeah, it'll catch your attention, right? If so far her attention span is on the one on your phone, maybe the real deal. Once maybe you buy her one, like a whole set,
Oh,
and see.
we have two
Oh, you
sets
do?
at the
Oh,
house.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
okay,
course, man.
okay.
I've had chess in the house since I was 10, 11,
Yeah,
maybe.
I only
Yeah.
have Uno. That's all I have. No, I'm just playing. I don't even have
I
Uno, dude.
Did you ever watch that Queen's Gambit on Netflix? It was
Queen's
that.
Gambit. No,
Yeah,
no.
so Queen's Gambit apparently it's like a chess strategy, that you can play
Okay.
out. But they named the series. It was a Netflix series where they had this lady playing like this, super smart chess protege,
Yeah.
We're in woke area, so it didn't really happen, but I don't think anyway. But anyway, because chess is like a male dominated thing,
Mhm.
But anyway, so she, they're playing out the scenario like she's this super smart chess player and she's up against the best, but this takes place in the 50s, I think, where she's up against, all the male things, whatever. So it's like a fairy tale, basically, not real life. But but it was cool watching, still a show on chess, and it
Mhm.
was I liked it. I mean, I like the thing. I don't like it when they get all wokey on you, and they try to throw all these stupid fake, fake history down your throat. Like, anytime where like they're playing like kingdoms,
Mhm.
and all the kingdoms are in Europe, or the Vikings, even they started doing it where they throw all these different races in there, and you're just like, how
I
did
don't
they get
remember
there?
that. It's
How
like
did they
make
get
believe
there?
history, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just they're trying to be inclusive, and they're just trying to, whatever, do their thing. And mainly, I mean, hey, maybe they're just trying to give people of color like paychecks, whatever. But, it's still, I know there's other ways you can do that. You can still pay people, but you don't have to lie about history. But they do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is woke life. Pretty soon, like 20 years from now, they're going to, pretty much everybody that they're going to say in the year 2023, they're going to have some sort of big thing that was going on now, like the pandemic, right? They'll do a movie on the
Yeah.
pandemic, but in that movie, like 90% of the population will be transgender, you know.
Oh, man.
That's what they'll do.
Let's
They'll
just
just say,
dice it
yeah,
with a little
remember
bit
in
of that, right?
2023 when everybody was transgender, and
Mhm.
like, because that's what they're trying to do to us, trying to
Jeez,
neuter us.
man. I mean, dude, with anything, just like on that tip, man, it's almost like they're running out of creative ways to think of new shows and movies. I'm just getting kind of tired of even like certain things that I once upon a time was really like just eager to watch. When it comes to like Marvel and Star Wars stuff, it just seems like there's so much. I feel like the creative juices are really leaving like Hollywood films or just top tier production films where I think it's up to a lot of people that are in the content space, like us, right? For example, to be creative to create something that people are going to enjoy, because I feel like the person's normal attention span is so short where everybody likes watching short clips, shorts, TikTok videos, whatever. They like watching stuff like that. It's almost like everything's shifting in a sense where a lot of people, dude, if they can record a movie off an iPhone, bro, like like all that stuff is it's out there for the taking in regards to whoever wants to be creative, whoever wants to take the time of the day to make something, put it out there, and sure enough, it could. I mean, weren't we talking to Tori Terry? Right? He was saying that he made his own movie and he was actually releasing it, and he was getting people to I forgot the website's name, and I'm horrible with remember names. But people were buying or paying to watch his documentary, and it's from what it seemed like it was successful.
Yeah.
So that's just the power of like anybody that wants to get into that creative space, right? They can create something that could be good. It's
Yep.
going to catch a following. And right there, right? You
Yep.
don't got to rely on like a heavy end studio or any of these like Hollywood movie makers. It's at the power of our hands now. Everything's
It's
got it
just
to where anybody can do it, right?
Yeah, it's just that you have so many gatekeepers in
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure, for
if you're
sure.
going to be, an independent guy, right? Good luck trying to get it on Netflix. Good
Oh
luck
yeah, for
trying to get it,
sure.
on the main established channels. So, it's still an uphill battle. It just sucks that the gatekeepers are giving us absolute garbage to work with. Like this new Snow White movie that Disney's coming out with, it's just absolute garbage. People are not excited about it at all because they're just destroying the story. They're destroying the fairy tale. And apparently the actress playing Snow White, she's like
Mhm.
um she's bashing Snow White, the whole character anyway. Like why would you even have someone in that? So I guess Disney's on like damage control. So
Mm.
they may not even release it. They may not even release it.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So they're in a world, I mean, Hollywood in general is in a world of hurt right now. And,
Yeah.
like I think Oppenheimer was the last movie I wanted to see, but I
Yeah.
couldn't get through the Barbie crowds to see it. So
Did your daughter go want to watch? Did she want to see that movie or
she's
not?
not into it. No.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I mean, she will like play with Barbies, but she doesn't really like, look at it. she likes her stuffed animals or whatever, but she
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
look
yeah.
at Barbies like they did back in the day, where like, oh look, she's so pretty, whatever. She's just like, you know, treats them like they're just like GI Joes,
GI
basically.
Joes, right? Just hopping off stuff, flying, and all that stuff,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
but
feel, I feel.
I mean,
Okay.
you've seen her a million times
Yeah.
playing GTA 5, so
Oh,
that's my
yeah.
daughter.
Oh man. Oh, dude. And definitely, I guarantee you're probably gonna get the new GTA when it drops. They're supposed to release like a teaser or something for that. But dude, that game looks phenomenal. From what I've
Yeah,
seen, the leaks and all that, what they released. Oh, dude, I'm definitely gonna get on that. We'll definitely have to jump on some games on that, dude. Just
I
free
would
for all
love
that.
to.
And we had an idea where I don't know
We need
how
to
we
go
would
through
do
with
it.
it.
Oh, we need to. We need to. I'm just trying to I'm still trying to decipher the code on how we would implement that. I've seen it being done before, not in the formula that we want to. And I'm sure people will probably catch on to it and they'll probably try to attempt to do it. Some probably will be successful, some probably won't. But did you know? So check this out though. There are servers out there that are doing that specific thing, but what they do, it's like almost like a storyline or a dialogue they try to follow through, like a short story where they use the characters in the city and all that. And dude, people get creative with it. I'm like, so it can
I
be done.
love it.
It can be
So
done. And it's but those servers, like people that really make content out of that stuff,
yeah.
they make money, dude. They
Oh
make
yeah.
money.
I so that was the whole thing why I wanted to do it, was because I saw somebody doing that, and they were like,
Yeah.
it was a guy getting pulled over by a cop, and he's like, stop. And he's like, well, and so the guy pulls over, and I mean, it's like literally just like adults playing pretend,
Yeah.
on a
No, it
video
is.
game,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
creating content. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how we get away with it, with being adults, being able to get
Oh,
away with it,
dude.
is we're like, oh,
Yeah.
but we're making money. And didn't you
Yeah.
tell me that you had your neighbors, or somewhere, I think you said your neighbors, they were like little kids that had a YouTube channel, and they were just like popping off with like tons of subscribers.
Oh, my nieces and nephews. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Man, we
man.
get
They're what was
yeah.
it?
No, I would say we need to get them and teach them to teach us how to work this
Show us the
algorithm.
ropes. Oh man. Yeah.
Because frankly, I
Everything
don't care
just
who watches our show. It could be, if we gotta, tailor it to the
to the
to
kids.
their audience. Yeah, like, hey, Boys and Girls Club, here we go. This is Tip
Right.
Tash. Don't trust your government.
We got there's all these shirts that remind me when you say like that, like, don't trust the government. There's like a lot of shirts that I've seen, like it'll say like fuck the feds, or like
The one I like is
there's some pretty nasty ones, or someone's like
abolish the IRS or
yeah,
something.
yeah, something like that. There's a bunch of them that I've seen though, where like yeah, abolish the IRS. There's a lot of them though, man. But yeah, that would be
Yep.
almost like a funny take, right? We see little kids walking around with a shirt like that,
That
like
yeah.
FUCK,
It-
the system, you know?
well, did I ever tell you my shirt?
No, no, no,
My
no.
shirt idea was, and I've had it in my head for years. I've just never, gone through with it. We were doing our shirts. We were thinking about doing our shirts for a while, and that's when I
Yeah,
thought I was
yeah,
going to come out with it. But anyway, it was like a panda with the big red or big black eyes. Like how like they have the doe eyes or whatever. Like
yeah,
he's in love. He's super happy, and he's super tame with those big eyes.
yeah.
So he would be a panda, like standing up, like Big Brother's watching, or no, no, oh no, the big, okay, no, the mean one is up front. He's on the top. Big Brother's watching, so it's a mean panda looking, with a red background, and then the lower one would be because Big Brother cares.
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, man, we can still make merch. I mean, that's in the lines of us for doing it
Now we gotta
and
grow first.
releasing stuff. So yeah, we definitely have to get creative and do something like that where like it's like, damn, that represents us right there. You know
We
what I'm
need
saying?
we
So
need controversy. Well, if we're gonna get get our name out there, we gotta do something really controversial. Like I think we should. Here's what we should do. Sam
okay, let's lay
Bankman
down. Let's
Fried.
lay down the plan.
Yeah, Sam Bankman Fried
Oh
is
yeah.
going to jail
Oh,
for like 115 years, maybe, or that's what he's up
113.
against,
It's
right? 113.
113. Homeboy is done, bro.
Yeah,
That
he's
you're gonna
toast.
get your hair braided in there, boy. You better. You better just watch your back, man. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure, like someone said, there was a meme out there already. Like, dude, the memes were fire about him when they announced that he was going to jail. They were like, "Don't worry, sit in front of the security camera like it kept what is it, Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Epstein
Epstein.
safe." Like that. I was like, dude.
Yeah. No, you know what's gonna happen? He's got too many people of influence. He's donated way too much money to people that, are gonna protect him. So something's going to happen. I mean, I was just reading an article saying that Ghislaine Maxwell, something happened in her case. I didn't get into the article too deep, but they said that something happened to her that could release her from prison.
No
So
shot.
she's working something.
Hmm.
So Sam Bankman-Fried, he's connected, man. He's connected, and I doubt he'll be in jail that long. A little bit, and then on top of that, the prison he's going to be in, I'm pretty sure it's going to be nicer than any house you and I are in.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's going to
yeah.
be in prison, living better than us still. You
That's
know,
insane, man.
just going to
The
be an
power of
adult
money,
daycare.
right?
It's
The
just
power of
it's
money and networking.
it's insane, man. Just like, man, you got to give those people. Anyway, so my idea though, the controversial idea,
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear
we
it.
need to come up with our own cryptocurrency for the podcast. Put it
Oh,
on an exchange. We'll get it on Pancake Swap. We'll get it on Uniswap, and and then we'll just rug everyone. you
I
know,
know about
get it just
that.
pump, 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 and we'll just rug them, and then we'll just
That's
have
it.
like the super nice studio and everything. But we have to make sure we're doing it offshores.
Oh shit.
Not a good
Somewhere
idea.
like off the keys. I don't know.
No, I'm kidding. I would never do that, man. I think those people that rug are the worst, man. The worst in the world. But we need something controversial. Like, I see that Suge Knight, Um he's now talking on a
Yes.
podcast. And so,
Yes.
I was like,
Very,
damn,
very creative way though. That I like how they did that. Very awesome how they did that.
I did. Yeah, they
Kudos
got
to
the
whoever came
AI
up with that.
him.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Suge Knight, man, he sounds healthy. I keep reading these articles that he's, like, oh, he's on his deathbed, his health is failing, whatever. But like, I was hearing him, and I'm like, man, this guy sounds like he's got his moral. He sounds like he's doing better than P Diddy. uh,
Yeah, yeah, man. We were talking a little bit about that, right? And what my boy here is referring to is the mere fact that let's just dive right
yeah,
into
let's
this,
go
man. I
there.
think that this will take us probably to the other podcast. We're going to dive deep into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, for people that don't know, Keefe D was arrested for the murder of Tupac Shakur. R.I.P. to the great one.
In connection with, yeah.
In connection with. So they say everything's on the public, so everything's out. So they're saying that he was one of the people in the car at the night of the shooting where he got shot, and then eventually he died a couple of days later.
Mm.
So now, homeboy's saying that P. Diddy at one point gave the check or he gave money to make sure that that had happened, but for whatever reason,
Wrote a $1 million check
$1 million
to a
check,
record label,
but
yeah.
somehow from getting it to point A to point B, it just disappeared.
Zip.
And there's people that are coming out saying that that was a legitimate thing, that did really happen. But of course, there's no paper trail, so they really can't prove it. It's more or less like he said, she said, right? But there's a lot
I heard
of
the FBI knew about it though. I heard
oh,
the
say
FBI knew
news to
about
me.
it.
That's
So,
news to me. But I mean, if they know about it, then I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some questions being asked. I'm like, yo, man, so did you really have something to do with this? And we were saying though, off the pod, it's just been really. I mean, for me, right? I'm not somebody to go really looking up on what P Diddy's up to or what he's doing as of now. But it just seems like you don't really hear much of him saying nothing about it. We don't expect him to, right? But just him like laying really low key as of late with all this stuff happening and QVD really saying his name out loud and saying that he was, the person that pretty much fronted the money for him to do so, and that he was being used as security at the time of that, at the height of the beef of the East versus West, right? So there's connection there. So that was valid. I mean, people were saying Gene Deal, which was Puffy's head of security, he said, yeah, he was around us. He was, he was security for us when we went down to the West Coast over in California. So they knew each other. So that right there says a lot.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the whole linking of, he paid X amount of money to get Tupac, taken out, I don't know, man. What do you think, Brett? Let's hear it.
I think there's a high possibility that that P Diddy had something to do with that. Um, and I think he also put Biggie in danger as well. And I think
Yeah,
he
man.
knew that he was putting him in danger, and but he went through with it anyway because his he was so cocky with everything about him trying to prove that he wasn't afraid of Suge, he wasn't afraid of the West Coast when Cali is active, and
Yeah, dude.
you know
And
so, and the thing is QPD's been saying this, and other people connected have been corroborating with that story, saying, yeah, all these things are lining up. That $1 million check was written, and it was written for a contract, and I guess the idea, the the payment, the $1 million was for Suge and Tupac. It was for both. Yeah.
so
So it
500,000
wasn't
a
just
pop.
Pac. It was Big, and it was Suge and Pac.
That's crazy, bro. That's insane, man. And it would really, dude. And again, allegedly, right? This is what they're saying. Obviously, this is what all these interweb detectives are saying, and just piecing the puzzle like we are, right? We're just kind of giving our opinion on that. I mean, who knows at the end of the day, really? This is just
Oh yeah, we're
alleged
not
stuff, right?
saying P
Yeah.
Diddy. I
But
mean,
it,
but I'm gonna tell you, I think it is. I mean, I really do. But it's not like I'm the detective that's pointing all the evidence and I'm saying, yep, it definitely him.
yeah,
But
right.
we're just saying what other people are reporting, people that were close to him, and we're just repeating that information. So yeah, it's all alleged. We know that,
For sure.
but if it just seems to, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, might be P Diddy that paid him to
Yeah.
get Suge and Pac killed. Is all I'm
Oh
saying.
man, dude. I mean, yeah, it's I mean, given that we already got closure, right? That even like the three gentlemen that were the rest of the gentlemen that were in the car with QVD, they're already deceased. They passed
All three
away
of them,
like a
yeah,
while
they're
ago.
3 out of 4 are dead.
He's only the one that could really say that it happened like the way he said it did, right? And just to get closure, right? Because I mean, this case has been going on for more than 20 years, so it's like to really finally get
27 years.
closure, to really finally get closure for that. I think it definitely do a lot of justice for Pac's remaining family that are still here,
Yep.
and just really just burying that case and just saying we solved it. But it will just be for me when I think about all this, right? I just always try to like all the interviews that I've heard, right, with even with Gene Deal, especially where he was talking about how he was getting warnings that the West Coast was too hot, that we should really be careful. We shouldn't even be going, right? I
Yeah,
think he
right.
said he didn't even want to go. And he was just trying to do his job. And I mean, dude, if things would have been done differently, at least Big would have been here. Or like even with Pac, man, if he wouldn't have been, if they really utilized the security or even Shook's like, yo, man, let's just keep him out of trouble. We don't even want to put he's our A-list artist right now. Let's not put him in any jeopardy. Let's just get into the room or let's just put him somewhere else.
Yep.
Let's just enjoy Vegas. Let's go have a good time. Let's not worry about the BS. But, it is what it is. Things unfolded like the way they did. And unfortunately, the outcome, that's what we got. And it sucks, man. It does suck. We lost what I believe
Well,
two of the biggest pioneers, man.
it was a weird story even with the Suge story, because then you find out that Suge pays Orlando Anderson like 60K to not testify against him in court, to say, yeah, you didn't hear this?
I didn't hear this.
Yeah,
New to me.
so Orlando Anderson was the one that got beat down and kicked and stomped on in the MGM Grand, that fight that we saw break out. And so then in that video you see Suge kicking, doing a kick on Orlando Anderson. And so so Suge's people got a hold of Orlando Anderson and said, hey, I'm gonna write you a $60,000 check if you can testify that you didn't that Suge didn't kick you. And he goes, all right, so he wanted to start his own rap career, and so he put out some junky ass CD, but he got that Suge money, and then when he went to court, and testified, they were like, yeah, was Suge Knight the one that kicked you? And he goes, I don't remember. I don't remember being kicked at all.
Oh
Like, but
my
it's
god.
on video, and he goes, I don't know. I don't know anything. And so, but then they still locked him away for 9 years for that kick,
That's
just because of that video.
crazy.
Yep.
I did
Yep.
not know that. When was this? When was this in for release?
Oh,
Like,
it was either on a Vlad or a Art of Dialogue interview. It was one of them.
that's crazy. No, I didn't know that.
And that would
Wow.
have been an interview with KPD. Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
But even to just realize, man, that homeboy, Kiefer really just snitched on himself, bro. It's like, come on, man. Like, what was really the purpose of it? Like, to me, it just seemed like he wanted to gain some fame from it, make some money off of it. Because I think he had a book that he was promoting.
Yep.
Bro, really, man? How would I mean, given that maybe it was just on his conscience, he just wanted to come out with it.
I
But
don't think so.
who knows,
I
man?
think he's so, I think he just got old, and when you're old, like you see it all the time. All these old people, the older you get, the more bad decisions you make, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't think that through." And he's I mean, god, the guy's old. The guy's like what, 60 years old or something like that. And he's not making really good decisions. And you know what? Maybe he needed the money, and maybe he's just like weighing his risk. He was thinking, "Oh, I've got the what do they call it, proper agreement, where he's thinking he's protected when he's really not." The proper agreement was where it says, "Okay, you can give us all this evidence about what happened or whatever, but if you're if you are in any way, shape, or form implicated in this murder, there is no statute of limitations on murder. So we can always come after you. But as long as you had nothing to do with it, and you can tell us everything else, and if you're connected to other things, then we're not going to hold any of that against you.
Yeah,
So we're
man.
not going to charge you with any of that." So he probably just got in over his head and just got too confident, didn't talk to his lawyers, didn't talk to his attorneys, and you know,
Oh, man, he did what he did.
did what he
No,
did.
man. I mean, now he is where he's supposed to be, I guess, right? This is all really what it ends up to be, which what it seems it is, and that's that. So
Hmm.
yeah, man. But definitely, I'm definitely gonna peep out the rest of that episode with Shook though to see what he says. And you were saying he was going pretty like he was doing something pretty G where he was talking about instead
He
of people giving their flowers, giving them
yeah.
cigars, right? So
Yeah, that's what I like. But I mean, he's just as scary as he was in '96.
oh, bro,
He was
shoot the unit,
infamous, and
man.
maybe I mean maybe it's just some people will go against him, but and he's been knocked out at least one time that I remember. But I still ain't messing with him. I still know he has goons. I still know he's he's got enough people. So you're never
I'm
gonna
sure
hear
he's
me
pretty well
talk
connected,
down
bro.
on Suge Knight at all,
No,
ever.
dude. No, he's pretty well connected, man.
Yeah.
And I would really just, if I could really ask him a question, honestly, and I think he probably may have answered it before. I just got to search for the answer. But what does he think about Snoop Dogg now being the main owner of Death Row Records now? You know what I'm saying? That's the one
Yeah.
thing I'd want to
Well,
ask,
he had to sign the paper, so I'm sure that. Yeah, and actually, I heard that they're good now. That they've
Oh, really?
squashed the
Okay.
beef. Suge and Snoop, they've squashed the beef. So, but
Interesting. Interesting.
yeah, Snoop is one of those guys. You know, he pretends to be friends with everyone. But
Yeah.
I'll stop about Snoop.
Oh no, not Steve Dodo McGee, man. Come
uh,
on, man. Dang, not
hey,
Uncle Snoop.
I mean,
Uh,
like
murder
I
was the
think
case.
I
Gin
put
and
him and Mace at
juice.
the same level.
Oh man. OG for sure though, bro. Not legends, dude. They're all legends, dude. I mean, they created what I would say. I mean, dude, I'm rocking the shirt as we
Yeah,
speak. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But they created a label that was just so you could not recognize it. You know what I'm saying? At that time, they were the it thing for the
They were
West
the
Coast.
biggest.
They were
Yep.
the West Coast
Yep.
at that point. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, as a kid, that was like one of the first rap albums I ever heard in my life. I remember what is it? Murder Was the Case. The beat to that, like, dude, what is this? You know what I'm saying? It sounded so
Yeah.
sick. And then lo and behold, it started obviously catching on to it, learning, and here we are. So it's
Yep.
like, that's my history with that. But that's crazy, man.
Another
I'll have to
thing
keep it more.
too, Suge actually was calling out Warren G on that interview too, because Warren
Hmm.
G was, in that interview where Warren G was talking about wanting to bail Pac out of prison. We talked about it on the podcast.
Yes, we did. Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
Suge called Warren G out on that one. He
Oh,
said,
really?
"Nah, nah."
Dang.
Yeah, so he put a
Okay.
kibosh on that one. Warren
Interesting.
G ain't getting his cigars.
No.
Warren, hey, no
Nah.
beef on Warren G either.
No,
He's
Warren G's the
someone
G,
that
man.
I hold high on the West Coast for sure.
Yeah, according to him, he saved Def Jam, and according to I think it's Lear Cohen, like one of the main dudes at that time for the rap label. He's like, yeah, that was true. He did really save Def Jam at that point with his album Regulators. So I was like, was it
Yeah.
Regulators? Yeah, it was Regulators, right?
Regulator.
Yeah.
Mount up.
So yeah, man. So
Yeah,
got to give him
man.
his kudos. You got to give him his kudos, brother.
Yeah.
But no, brother, I mean, we're trying to keep this one short and sweet, of course, trying to get back
Yes.
into the swing of things. Of course, like we said, with 3-part series with Roxy, that definitely took up the past couple releases to release that just because
Amazing
there was so much
episodes.
content. Yeah, definitely amazing episode. Go check it out if you haven't. We talked about almost a little bit of everything. And there's always those moments, right, or that moment at the very end of the episode where we wish we could add more time to go into more stuff, but obviously time is of the essence. And of course, we got lives, of course, as well,
Yeah.
and priorities calling our names. So
Yeah.
we had to just work with what we
We
had at that
knew that
time.
there would be um future sessions, so
For
we're
sure, for
just saving
sure.
all that for the future. We'll probably have to shoot on down to Cali
Oh man,
one of these
definitely.
times. You know what I mean?
You might see the boys in the West Coast, West
Yeah, we
West.
want some we want some Cali love.
For sure. But like I said, if you haven't checked that out, go do so to make it easy for yourselves. We're on Instagram, Beyond Expedition Podcast. Go check us out. In our bio, we have a direct link where we're available. All the links are provided for you there at a single click of a button or a tap from your finger on your phone. So we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn FM Radio,
Yes.
YouTube for all our videos. Go check us out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that like button, comment, and hit that bell notification so it'll notify you whenever we upload a brand new video or a short. So go check that out. But till then, we're going to sign out when this releases. It'll be Friday. Have a fantastic Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace, people.